Hey everybody, it's Chris. Thanks so much for watching today. If you could please remember to like, and if you haven't already subscribed, I would really love it if you would. I've been thinking about this painting for a little while now. I love cherry blossoms, and of course spring is just around the corner, so I kind of thought maybe this was the time to give this a try. So I'm working on a 16 by 20 canvas. It isn't all going to be in view, but I made sure that this top portion of the canvas would be in view for you, which is where the cherry blossoms will go. And I'm very close. I've probably just got about an inch of the bottom of the canvas that's not showing on the screen, but I felt like it was more important for you to be able to kind of see where I was putting the cherry blossoms and how I was going to make that work. So the idea that I had was to create a canvas with a white background. I have some burnt umber and raw umber paints to hopefully make the trunk and the branches. And then I'm using deep magenta, medium magenta, and then this is just a custom house paint that was a light pink that I've mixed up. And then I also have some extreme sheen 24 karat gold. And my thought was to do little petal pours and then do a smash to make my little blossoms. So this is actually a cat toy. We have kitties, and this is kind of like a little squishy ball, but I felt like it was a really nice size for a cherry blossom. You know, this is kind of the same idea as the balloon, but a balloon is like so much bigger. So I was trying to think of something that would be a little bit smaller. So I've wrapped saran wrap around it, and then I put just a little binder clip on the top to keep the saran wrap in place. But my thought is that I could just kind of smush my little puddles of paint to make my little cherry blossoms. So we'll see how that works. I honestly don't know for sure if it is going to work, but in my mind, it sounds like a really great idea. So as I said, I've got a 16 by 20 canvas. I have my white flow acrylic paint from Michaels that has been mixed with pouring medium and some Elmer's glue all, a little bit of water to get the right consistency. So I'm going to start by flooding this with white paint, and then I will be back and we'll start to create our cherry blossom tree. Okay, so I have the canvas covered with my white paint. The next thing that I want to do is to create the tree branch system. I'm kind of toying with the idea of maybe just having one branch that kind of starts here and trying to decide if I want to kind of come up. Yes. So let's start down here with the branch, with our main branch, and I'm just going to bring it up and stop. And then we'll have some other little branches that come off of that. At first I had thought about a tree. We're not going to worry about that. It'll be okay. But I just feel like that's just a little more difficult to make it look like I want it to look. I do want this to come out a tiny bit further. Not going to worry about those strips right now. Right now I'm just focusing on building my tree branch here. And there, that took care of that one. I want this one to come down a little bit more, I think. And then perhaps a branch off of this and a branch here to go up. Look at that, I just incorporated my drips. And another branch right in here. And I think we'll do a little something right here. And maybe bring this one down a little bit more into there. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good base. So that was the burnt umber. Now I'm going to come back with the darker brown and just kind of lay some of that in here as well, because I feel like it's going to be more interesting if we have two different colors in there. And right now I think I'm just going to kind of drag it through my canvas with the hopes of getting some nice little design in there. And I will go back and fix those drips. I'm hoping that I'm dragging some of the white into it and that we might get some interesting little cells, but we'll see. Not sure if it's going to cooperate or not. All right, and then I'm just gonna bring this down a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so the other thing that I thought I could do too is perhaps, I'm just gonna take this brown out right here, is to also take a paintbrush and kind of run it through there real quickly, just to kind of combine those colors a bit. I have some kind of cool stuff here, so I'm just gonna lightly brush this, very lightly. Now I do have a very thin coat of paint on the canvas, and that was way too heavy, with the hopes that we're not gonna end up losing our color into the white base. Just gonna brush some of the brown off and then very lightly come up into this one. And you can see I kind of drug down through the canvas a bit there, but it looks like it's filling in nicely for me. And then I think I want to grab just a little bit of this white paint that's on my plastic. Just kind of drag a little bit of it down through here because I feel like we're getting some really cool reaction with the white that's in there. Because if there's not a beautiful blossom to look at, might as well be a cool tree to look at, right? Okay. And I'll take my camera down so that I can show you there actually are some kind of cool little cells that are going on in here, but you're not going to be able to see them because I have to have my camera up so high so that you can see the blossoms being built, that you're not going to be able to see all the neat little cells that I have going. But I will make sure that you see that before we're done. Just kind of trying to thin out some of those areas where I got it a little bit thick. But hopefully once the cherry blossoms are on, you won't be able to tell anything and it'll look just like it's supposed to. All right, so there's that. I do have that one little drip. Here's another one. I'm gonna take care of these really super quick before it's too late to fill in, and let that smooth out while it dries. And we will start on our blossoms. All right, so I'm going to start with the medium magenta. I think I'm going to start a little ways away from my branch and just start building some blooms here, because I expect that this is going to kind of flow towards my branches, and I want to be sure that I'm not pushing all of the branches or the blooms towards the branches, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Now I'm kind of building off of the branch, and then I think I will probably end up coming back and adding in more blooms to make the tree fuller. But right now I just kind of want to get a sense of how this is going to look. So starting with my medium magenta, and then I'm going to come back and add in the deep magenta. And I know in real life cherry blossoms are quite a bit lighter colored than what these are, but I like my bold colors, And I'm hoping that since it is on a base of white, that's going to lighten the color up a bit anyway. So I wanted to make sure that I used a nice deeper color. All right, and then next we're gonna put some gold on there. It's a very big drop. I put my gold in a smaller bottle thinking it would be easier to manage, but and there I just went all the way across the, we'll probably just put another blossom there, right? I thought this would be a little bit easier to manage than my big bottles, but I'm not so sure that it is. And I think my gold might be a tinge bit thick. So isn't really coming out of this bottle like I want it to, but we'll see how it all turns out. Don't be afraid if you have like drips of paint, or like I have that bit of gold that goes from one blossom to another. Everything can be fixed, and no one will ever know that it was there when you're finished. Remember, if you have Floetrol in your paint, I find that my paint ends up leveling out kind of on its own anyway. So if you do have a little dip, it's not a big deal. I can just go right back here and kind of work this out. And I think by the time I squish it, it'll be just fine. All right, and then just going to add that light pink on the very top. Just kind of doing one drop of each color really on each bloom. I think that should be plenty. I'm hoping that by the time I use my little ball to squish it down. All right, so I wanted to touch back and show you how far I've made it. I've kind of come back and added some more blooms here and there. I've also layered my colors a little bit differently so that I get kind of different colors coming through on the canvas. And I'm just going to continue to add more blossoms because I think it's really pretty. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, why can't I have that on my canvas? So just kind of adding in some more blooms here and trying to get a little bit more color on here, filling in the tree, things like that. So I just wanted to show you where I'm at, and I'm going to continue on here and then I'll bring you back, okay? Okay guys, so I have added some more blossoms to it and I think it's looking pretty good. I do wish that my branch was not quite as dark. I think it probably would be a little bit better if it was a lighter branch, but I might add just a few more flowers. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up with you guys right now. And then I will take a final photo of it and put it at the end of the video along with a few close-ups. So again, this is my take on a cherry blossom branch of a tree for spring. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.